Hello, Kent Kruger, Thomas Kent Kruger, Biological Channel, and if you really want to understand this episode of my channel, you're going to have to listen to two stories that sound kind of divergent, but they're actually one and the same. Now, let's get started. I've still got about 14 and a half minutes. In a previous episode, I told you about crossing lines, that Trump had crossed my line and would probably never get back. Unless he does something dramatic before the end of the year, like seizing the pharmaceutical companies, which is what I recommend, President Trump. You need to seize all the pharmaceutical companies and make them start selling drugs at a reasonable price, not the trillions of dollars that they're making right now. Because that's what you promised on January 21st of this year. Now I'm going to tell you a story that will eat up a lot of your time, but it comes from good people, my mother and father. You know, my mother and father worked their asses off their whole lives. Got married while they were working, still keep working, gave birth to 8 children, etc. And it wasn't until, I think it was 1959 or 1956 that the company that my father worked for finally decided to give him a 1-week paid vacation. 1 week paid vacation. 1 week paid vacation. You hearing me, bitches? 1959, my father had worked non-stop since my age, at age 5. That's why he loved me, as I started working the same age he did. And, 45 years, something later, some company that's making a ton of money off him and killing him with benzene offers him a 1-week vacation. So he told my mom, and he told her it was all set to go, etc. And so my mom bought a bunch of, because we were going to go down to Corpus Christi, which is a complete refinery shithole, but it's got inexpensive hotels right on the beachfront, and you can go out there and play with the sand sharks and the stingrays, whatever. But the what do you call them? The jellyfish, etc. And so, just give me a minute here, because if you ain't figured by yet that I really don't like to make these presentations sober. I prefer to be totally hammered when I do them, so that I don't hold back anything. I don't want to hold back anything during these presentations. The stuff that I've done where I point the camera at some graph paper and do this stuff, I get like 50 views. But when I do stuff that when I'm really hammered and I'm showing like my knee or stuff like that, I get 170, 200 plus views. It's okay, so shut the fuck up. Okay, so the company told my dad a particular date, and my mom began to stock up on beanie weenies and all kind of those, what were brand new, those kind of bachelor, where you had the little ring where you could just pop the top off and eat it, All you needed was a spoon. And my mom stocked up on that, and then when the day came for us to leave for Corpus Christi, it didn't happen because they needed Dad at work. I won't go into that. So a week later, they finally told Dad, yep, you're like, 51 years old now, and you and your wife, who worked your entire lives, can finally take a vacation paid on the company. You know, I'm not a commie, but I also am not some asshole that believes in working people to death. So, we load up the car. We had tons of beanie weenies and every kind of, all those bachelor, pop, fruit cocktails and stuff like that, because I knew what my parents were going to do. They were going to lay in bed and sleep, and my parents, they were going to have some fun, because neither one of them were afraid of the natural order of things, if you get my drift. Okay? 8 children. Okay? The natural order of things. My mother had no fear of the penis, unlike most of you cunts listening right now. Most of you cunts listening right now, at the sight of an erect penis, you just want to vomit because you're fucking lesbian, YouTubing, man-hating fucking losers. Okay. Please remember that I'm trying to get to President Trump. So the thing is that my father made a promise based on a promise from his boss, and when his boss didn't keep the promise, my father didn't criticize him, he just told us to wait. And that's what I'm doing right now, President Trump. I'm waiting. Because you made a promise, and so far those companies will make trillions before the end of the year, and trillions more next year because of your failure to bring down the price of pharmaceutical drugs. Trillions. I've been doing my research. It'll be almost another month before I finish, because there's so many mergers and other kind of crap like that I got to figure into this whole thing. I don't know. I got to have to. It's right now I'm still working on the Walmart Boots. What's the other? Yeah. I'm still working on their merger, but the one thing I can see on Walmart, Walgreens, is that when the arrests began right after February 1st, according to President Trump, and until March, all of a sudden, Walgreens, look it up yourself, put in Walgreens stock price for the past year, and you'll see this nasty, weird, bizarre chart that goes up and down. It was up, and then it went down as soon as the arrest started. Then it started going up some more, and then up and up, and then around in June, when Pfizer, which makes my medication, is now charging $1,277 cash in this area, in other places like New York City, Boston, Massachusetts, Florida, they're charging $1,500 for my medication, which costs still to this day only $2.49 to put in a plastic bottle and inside of a cardboard box. And this is why I'm saying that I don't trust you anymore, President Trump. You made a promise. My father, when he had to break his promise, he used his wife to explain that they just simply had to have my father, because my father was so critical to the operation of that entire chemical plant that made polymers that they held him off until he was almost 51 years old. Yeah, almost 51. And my mother was like 44. And when we went down to Corpus Christi, my mother and father checked into the hotel. They put all the food out there and the spoons out there for us kids, and they just crawled into bed and just slept for a week because they freaking needed it, because they've been working their entire lives since the moment they were born, hit the floor running. All they'd ever known was work, work, work. Vacation, paid vacation, was unheard of to them. And that's what you're doing to me, Trump. You made a promise, and yet you didn't deliver. It's like my dad is still working at the shoe factory in that benzene-filled environment, which you don't care about, that causes death. And all you really care about right now is your wife going to Egypt and sucking some butt, and you really pissed me off 100% when you said in your, I'm going to end this very early, when you said in your State of the Union address on January 21st of this year that you're going to bring down pharmacy prices. You knew that the DOJ, etc., was about to arrest thousands of pharmacy chain drug buyers and wholesalers and put them in jail, and that would disrupt the whole chain. But you did nothing after that. All you cared about was just keep on going, destroying the Chinese Xi Jinping. You just want to keep going. Actually, I'm going to stop right here because I'm almost at 12 minutes. President Trump, I'm a Jew. You have a son that claims to be a Jew, Kushner. He's not. He's just one of you people in New York. You're a New Yorker. You're a fucking Yankee. And my mother used to ask me all the time, because my mother, in my family, I grew up in a family that was absolutely free from any sort of religious or political indoctrination. My parents never talked politics or religion, etc. But my mother knew that I was a little book freak. She knew that she put that giant family Bible out there on that table stand. I would eventually read every last word of it, and I did that before I was age 9. And that was just my spare time. And my mom, every year after that, would ask me at least once a year, Kent, what's the greatest sin of all? I go, I don't know, Mom. I've read that book. I'm still working on it. It seems like one of them is to leave out or add to the Word of God. And she goes, no, that's not it. And Mom would just keep on. She would. And finally, at about age 40, I said, Mom, I know the answer now. The greatest sin of all, pardon me, the greatest sin of all is neglect of family. If you neglect your family, if you don't tend to your family, nothing else matters. You don't tithe. You weirdo Christians that tithe when your family's ill and ill-dressed and ill-fed, you're going straight to hell. Because Jesus created hell, not us Jews. And you're a bunch of fucking losers. The number one sin is neglect of family. You take care of your mother, father, brother, sister, aunt, uncle. You take care of your children before you ever tithe to any temple or show up at any temple and tithe or give money to any freaking stupid rabbi, gambling addict, prostitute addict, loser. The number one sin on this planet is what you've already created, Mr. Trump, which is you said that you would take care of the weak and the frail, which is our number one commandment. Number one above all, and you haven't done it. You shall forever be on my shit list, Donald J. Trump. And even though on Facebook and other, YouTube, I occasionally give you a like, it's because nobody knows I'm giving you a like. I'm just trying to support bring down the right-wing weirdo, queerdo, abortionist weirdo movement. I don't care anymore. But Mr. Trump, you're on my shit list fucking forever because you didn't act like my parents. You're not a good parent. You're a fucking asshole. 100% loser.